he said. "My name is Staff Sergeant Roy Benavidez, 5th Special Forces Group. May 2nd, 1968. I thought I was going to have a quiet Sunday. He told me he'd just come back from Mass at the forward base near Loc Ninh, not far from the Cambodian border. Hot air, red dust, the usual jungle smell of rot, fuel, and sweat. I was walking past the ops bunker thinking about coffee," he said. "And then I heard the radio. It wasn't the words at first. It was the panic under them. 'Break, this is Texas team. Heavy contact, multiple NVA. We need extraction now.' He said everyone in that bunker froze. Those were their guys. A 12-man recon team, 3 Green Berets, 9 Montagnard fighters deep across the border. The duty officer is over the map, trying to sound calm," Roy told me. "But you could hear the team on the radio. Gunfire in the background. Men yelling. That sound when people know they're almost out of time." Without anyone telling him to, he stepped forward. "Where are they?" The lieutenant jabbed a finger at the map, right up along the border. "We've already lost birds trying to get them," he said. Roy remembered. "But on the radio, I hear one of our Americans shout, 'We're not gonna last much longer down here.'" He looked at me and shrugged. "I didn't think," he said. "I just decided." I told him, "I'm going." He grabbed the closest medical kit, slung it over his shoulder, checked his knife, and ran for the flight line. "No rifle, no helmet," he said. "Just an aid bag and a blade." Pilot looks at me like I'm crazy and asks, "You armed with good intentions, Sarge?" I told him, "My boys are out there. Take me in." The helicopter lifted off, low over the trees. As we got closer, he said, the radio got worse. Shorter words. Less breathing room between the shots. Then he saw the smoke. "The pilot makes a fast circle," Roy told me. "Down there is a little clearing, just getting chewed apart. I can see bodies, our guys firing from little mounds, and muzzle flashes all the way around them." The pilot yelled back that he couldn't land in the middle of that. "Get me close," I told him. "I'll walk." They hovered maybe 30, 40 feet off the ground, just outside the worst of the fire. "Last stop," he shouts, Roy said. So I jumped. He hit the ground hard. 30 feet and gear onto bad ground? He said. My knees tried to divorce me. Bullets started slapping into the dirt around him the second he landed. "They saw the bird. They saw me fall," he said. So I grabbed the bag and ran. It was about 75 yards to the team. Longest run of my life. Halfway there, something punched his right leg. "I thought I tripped," he said. Then it got warm. That was bullet number 1. He kept going. "I may be 20 yards out," he said, and I see a little metal ball in the grass. Next thing I know, boom. Grenade. Face full of shrapnel. Ears ringing. I could have laid down right there and let the jungle have me. He paused, then gave me a half smile. I told myself, you didn't jump out of a helicopter to die in the middle of an empty field. Roy, get up. So I did. He staggered into the team's tiny perimeter. It was chaos trees shredded, dirt blown up, men hit, and still firing. I slide in next to my buddy Wright, he said. He's behind a log, shooting like he's got something to prove. I yell, "Rough campsite, brother." He yells back, "About time you got here. We're out of everything." Roy dropped the aid bag and started working. Anybody who could still shoot, I told him to keep shooting, he said. Anybody who couldn't, I told them to talk so I knew they weren't dead yet. He went man to man packing wounds, tying tourniquets, pushing spare mags into shaking hands. He grabbed an AK off one of the dead Montagnards. The enemy was nice enough to bring extra rifles, he said. Seemed rude not to use him. He popped smoke to mark their position and waved at the helicopters overhead, immediately drawing even more fire. "First bird tries to nose in," he said. They hit it with everything. AKs, machine guns, heavy stuff further back. Pilot still manages to kiss the ground. I start shoving the walking wounded and the less walking wounded onto the skid. Load, sprint back, drag another man. Over and over. At some point, I realized the team leader was still out there, he said. Dead, in the brush, with all his codes and papers. Last thing we need is the MVA reading our mail. So he went back out, under fire, crawled to the body, and stuffed the documents inside his shirt. Right then, he said, the helicopter trying to take off gets hit. He told me how the pilot slumped, the bird tilted, rotor kissed a tree, and the whole thing came down. Metal and wood and fire everywhere. I should have run the other way, he said, but there were men in there. He went back again. We dragged guys out of the wreck while the NVA tightened the ring. He said, I'm yelling, form a perimeter. Point your rifles somewhere that isn't each other. He got on the radio, called in air, and kept moving. By now I've been hit in the leg, in the face, in the side, he said. I'm using an AK, an M16, whatever I pick up. If it fires, I love it. Another grenade landed close. Shrapnel tore across his back. I remember thinking, that's going to itch later, he said. Then I went right back to work. At one point, an VA soldier rushed him, screaming, swinging his rifle like a club. He cracks me in the jaw, Roy said, tapping the scar. Sticks a bayonet in me for good measure. We wrestle in the mud. I got hold of my knife first. He lost that argument. He blew past that part like it was a minor inconvenience. Time got weird, he said. Seconds felt like hours, hours felt like seconds. All I knew was as long as somebody was still breathing, I wasn't done. Eventually, another helicopter was inbound. Last chance. They yell, last bird. We don't get on this one, we're staying. Roy started hauling again, throwing men over his shoulders, dragging others by their web gear. Everything hurt. Every step felt like walking on broken glass, he said. But I wasn't about to leave anyone. They packed the wounded onto the helicopter, filling every bit of space. I did one last sweep, he said, looking for anyone still alive, any papers we missed. Jungle was quiet for the first time in hours. Too quiet. He found nothing living. I start back to the bird, he said, and two NVA pop up, aiming at it. My rifle's empty. I don't even remember picking up another one. I just remember they didn't get their shots off. Somebody on the helicopter grabbed his gear and yanked. Get in, Roy. We're leaving, I yelled. So I finally listened. He collapsed onto the floor with the others as they lifted away. There was this 1 second, he said quietly, up there in the air where everything went calm. My body decided, we're done now. Lights out. When he woke up, it was cold. Not jungle cold, hospital cold. He couldn't move, couldn't talk, couldn't see much. I heard zippers, he said. I heard a doc say, this one's gone. Zip him up. He felt the plastic of the body bag touch his face. I couldn't talk, he said. Couldn't lift a hand. Only thing I could still do was spit. So he did. Right onto the doctor's hand. Doc jumps back and goes, hold up, this one's still with us, Roy said, smiling. They pulled me out of the bag. Later, they counted 37 separate wounds bullets, shrapnel, bayonet. They told him he shouldn't have survived, and if he did, he'd never walk again. He looked down at his legs when he told me that part. They've been wrong before, he said. Years later, President Reagan put the Medal of Honor around his neck. Roy laughed when he talked about that. Reagan said if this was a movie script, nobody would believe it. He told me. Maybe he's right. I don't blame him. He leaned back, scars catching the light, eyes still steady. People ask me why I did it, he said. Why I grabbed a bag and jumped into all that with just a knife and bad knees. He shrugged. It was my team on that radio, he said. My brothers in that clearing. I couldn't sit on a sandbag and listen to them die. He looked right at me and finished it the same way he started. So I went. That's all. 6 hours in hell so some of them could come home. You tell it like that. Don't make it pretty.